Hello everyone! For those of you that don't know me, my name is Brandy Carter and I am so excited to share with you today some fun tips on how to do a live Facebook virtual event. So before we get started, I know a lot of you don't know me, so I just wanted to give you kind of a quick spiel about who I am, how I got into Rodan & Fields. So my husband and I actually moved. We currently live in Louisville, Kentucky. And we moved here December 2009. I was working for a beauty school at the time and they transferred us out here. So we have been here for, 2009, what is it? 2017 now? Oh my gosh, almost 8 years. It's definitely home. We've built a home here, started a family here, and absolutely positively love it. However, shortly after getting to Kentucky, we were thrown a lot of curveballs. My husband had always had a great job, had worked in collections and accounting. I'd always worked in human resources. We were fine financially. Everything was great. Then totally out of the blue one day, my husband's walking into work, slips and falls on black ice, lands on his head, resulting in a brain injury. Really scary time. Just something that, total fluke accident that could literally happen to anyone. Well, fast forward, he's out of work for a year and a half. I am trying to hold down all of our bills and finances with just my income, which we were very much accustomed to 2 incomes in our household, and it just wasn't happening. The medical bills were outrageous. The doctors could not figure out why the swelling on his brain wasn't going down, so our debt accumulated into literally what only a winning lottery ticket could fix. In the middle of all that, I had my 35th birthday. And Heather Leopold, a friend of mine from college, reached out to me, told me happy birthday, and asked if I would be interested in trying some of her skincare products of her new business. So she sent me a sample in the mail. I tried it on my skin and oh my God, my skin felt amazing. Like, I just wanted to rub it, like rub me. It felt amazing, like silk, So I reached out to her and was like, how much are the products? Which was stupid because I had no money. But we ended up having a great conversation and she introduced me to the business. And, 14 months later, we are completely back on track. Husband's returned to work. I did actually return to a head of HR position, but now have been able to completely walk away from my corporate position and do Rodan & Fields full time. And I am so thankful for this business. So let's get into it. So virtual events. Why in the hell would you do a virtual event? Well, here's the deal. Is that events in general, regardless of, we obviously work in Rodan & Fields, but regardless of what company you work in, anytime you can get someone to come to an event and have a live interaction with you, that's obviously going to be best, right? You can actually just have that human interaction, that face-to-face conversation. But that's not always possible. We own virtual franchises that are worldwide, right? If you have a prospect, I'm in Kentucky. If I have a prospect in California or Australia, either way, they're not going to be able to come to my house or the wine bar or coffee shop on Friday evening for the coffee and conversations, right? As lovely as that sounds, it's just not realistic. The other thing is that I don't know about you guys, but my network's busy. To just be able to leave their kids, leave their husband, leave their job, and go to different in-person events isn't always possible. Now, don't get me wrong. They're still the by far best option. But if you need a second best, it's virtual. So here's the deal. We say that our business is this awesome, fits into the nooks and crannies of your day, and you can do it from anywhere, and as long as you have Wi-Fi and a dream. Well, if you're saying all that, why aren't you doing it? Definitely utilize Facebook, utilize Hangouts, utilize all these different virtual platforms that we have, and put that Wi-Fi and phone to work. So a couple things, and I have some notes, so don't judge me if I keep looking down. But the thing with virtual is you want them to be simple, easy, very duplicatable, so as you and your team are watching or even prospects are watching, they can see themselves doing exactly what you're doing. You also want it to be something that speaks to the masses, but in less time. You having that face-to-face conversation with all 1,000 people in your Facebook friends list would take God knows how long. Where if you host one fantastic event, you can communicate with all those people in an hour. So it's definitely worth your time in terms of that. Okay, so let's get into how to do it. If you go to Facebook, you can go to where you create an event. There are different options in terms of pages, groups. Don't worry about any of that crap. Stick with an actual event. There's so much more that you can do with events than you can with any of the rest. So what you'll do is you'll set up an event. Couple things that you want to think about. You want to think about a name. You want it to be fun, right? Like calling it Brandy's event isn't very exciting. So think about coffee and conversation. Think about sip and shop. Think about mimosas and mini facials. You know what I mean? Kind of whatever idea you want to have, and make it fun. Like get rid of the turkey neck or, whatever kind of fun, crazy, off the wall, get people excited sort of thing. The other thing you want to think about is date and time. So here's the deal with that, is that it really depends on your network and the type of people that you're attracting. I personally have had more luck with doing like a 9 p.m. middle of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. I have always been told that Fridays and Saturday evenings should really be off limits because those are kind of date nights for people. But if your network is purely single moms, they're probably not out partying Friday and Saturday night. They're probably stuck home with the kids, right? So maybe Friday, Saturday night would be perfect for them because they can stay up a little bit later and not have to worry about work the next day. Or if you're dealing with someone who has tons of kids, the weekend probably isn't good because they're probably going to be busy with sports or different events or, at least have the kids. Where if you're dealing with you get the idea. Definitely just look into your network and try and determine what is the most appropriate and best for the people that you're really aiming for. And then keep in mind, the great thing about them is they're recorded. They're available. People don't have to attend live. That's what's so awesome about it. You don't have to show up at the coffee shop at 6 o'clock or you're going to miss the whole damn thing. No, it's on Facebook. It's there. It's recorded. It's available as long as you allow it to be there. So definitely be flexible, but obviously the goal is to get as many people live and interacting as you can. But don't worry that, at the end of the day, if you have 100 and 10 say they can go for it. You know what I mean? Okay, so once you've created the event, you've come up with a fun name, you've set up a day, you've set up a time, you've got everything ready to go, here's what you need to do next. Stop. You do not need to start just cold adding the entire world because number one, you're going to be super annoying. I personally have been added to 7 LuLaRoe groups in the last 24 hours. I am so annoyed by them that I don't want to buy any LuLaRoe from anybody because I don't even know who these people are and they just cold added me to these groups. And now I open up Facebook and I have 47 notifications from these groups of these people that I don't know and I don't care about the stuff and I don't want it. And it's spammy and it's annoying and it's frustrating and it's wasting my time, especially on a week of Thanksgiving where everyone's super busy and super crazy and super stressed about everything that's going on. So that is the easiest way to frustrate people and get them to not attend your event. Do not do that. Here is what I recommend with events is that you want to reach out to people and physically invite them. So I'm going to give you an example of some language that I'm doing for the event this week. Hey Danielle, happy almost Thanksgiving. I hope you have your stretchy pants on, clean and ready to go. Laugh out loud, smiley face. I wanted to invite you to an easy and fun virtual event. I know that you haven't yet fallen in love with our products, but I know that you will. So, because you've been so curious to try them. It will be on Facebook throughout Thursday and Friday, but left open over the weekend as well, so that you can check it out completely at your leisure. I just didn't want you to miss out on some awesome incentives and sales. This is our own version of Black Friday. No pressure at all, but can I add you to the event? Super simple, super easy. They're gonna say yes because what have you asked them to do? All you've said is, can I add you to the event? You didn't say, will you buy this or can I have your firstborn? You just said, can I add you to something where we're going to talk about incentives and sales that you personally could benefit from? So I personally, for the event that's coming up this week, I have reached out to 64 people and 21 automatically said yes. and they actually thanked me. They thanked me for inviting them and for thinking of them. I mean, do you understand the difference of the caliber of how that looks versus the group that I just got cold added to, right? The second step. So now you go into the event, you click invite, and now you're going to pick the people that have said yes. So you've had the conversation separately, whether in person, Facebook Messenger, text, whatever it was, the people have said, yes, please invite me. You're going to now go back to the event page. You're going to click invite. I recommend doing it all at once just because I think it's quicker and easier. So I took my list of my 21 people, went to the event, clicked invite, checked the boxes of all 21 of the friends that said yes. Messenger then gives you a little option where you can slide it over and say, include a note with the invite. So I did that, and I said something simple to the effect of, hey girl, here's the invite to the event I told you about. Can't wait to hear what you think. Please make sure that you immediately go in and click going, because if you don't, you won't get the notification, and I don't want you to miss out on anything. Can't wait to hear what you think, because here's the deal. Because it is an event, they have to say yes, which is their click of the going button. Once they do that, they're then going to get those notifications. If they don't click going, they're not going to get a notification. They are going to completely forget that you even asked them about the event. They're going to go on with their life and forget all about that entire conversation. Poof, gone, never even happened. And here you are, you're going to think that they were on there and saw the whole thing and they didn't even get one notification about it. So definitely make sure that they have clicked that going button. That's also something right before the event that you can go in and look. And that's the great thing about the event aspect of it, is you can go in and see invited, going, not going, and see where people are. So if it says going, that means that they have clicked, they've confirmed that they plan on attending. If it says not going, that means something's up because they said yes to you and now they're saying no, they can't go. And if it says invited, they either haven't seen the event or they didn't click going. So that would definitely, encourage you to then reach back out to them and say, hey girl, the event's coming up. You didn't click going yet. I would do it for you, but I can't. So can you hop on there real quick? Here's the link again. Just click the going box. I don't want you to miss out on any of the deals. All it is a quick little click for them. But then that way, as soon as the event starts, they're going to get a notification. Okay. So let me just check my notes here. Okay, so in terms of the actual event, there's a couple different ways that you can do it. And I would really encourage you to try and look at your own business and how often you do events and what works for you. If this is a one-time deal, you just want to try out an event, you don't know where this is going to go, I recommend almost just a planning ahead and the copy-paste method. So plan out all your posts, put them either on your computer or on your phone so that literally you can copy and then add the image and paste. And then wait a minute, do it again. Wait a minute, do it again. And if you have, 20 posts or whatever that is, you can do that simply. If, like myself, you plan on doing quite a bit of events, like I've probably done 5 so far this month, I would definitely recommend looking into some of the different apps where you can actually schedule your posts in advance. There is a company out there that I actually got from Carrie Landau. It's called Post My Party. And it is free for your first 14 days. So you could try the trial, and if you don't like it, you could cancel. But then it's $9.95 a month, which for me is worth every single penny. What you do is you create an actual template. So let's say that you plan on doing these kind of virtual events about all your products and a little bit about the business, kind of a generic, BBL kind of event. You could save that entire template in there one time. And then all you have to change is a link, like a link to, the website or the person's name or whatever, the very specific thing is. But everything else could essentially stay the same. And then when you want to do an event, it takes like 2 seconds. You create the event page and you link it to Post My Party and you're done. versus the copy paste method can take you, 30, 45 minutes, depending on how long the event is. So I think that that's really neat. There's also some different things where you can just go in and schedule the posts. So you literally do that copy paste method, but you assign everything a time. So let's say your event is going to be 9 p.m. You do post 1 at 9 p.m., post 2 at 9:03, post 3 at 9:06. That 2 or 3 minutes in between each post, and then it just goes for you. The other advantage to doing something like that, and this is just kind of something you want to think about depending on your network, and especially your team as your team continues to grow. I have my team, so I'm, as I said earlier, based out of Louisville, Kentucky, but I have quite a few team members on the West Coast. Well, there's a 3-hour time difference. So if they want to do something at 9 p.m., which is, pretty prime time for virtual events, well, that's midnight my time. So for me to pop on and look like a not homeless person at midnight and do an actual Facebook virtual event, that's definitely something that is hard, right? I mean, it's possible, and I'm absolutely 100% willing to do that for my team, but not something I want to do every week. So with one of those different apps, you can do that. You can schedule everything out in advance. I can go to sleep and rest assured that the event is going seamlessly without me. Okay, during the event, couple things that you want to think of. So like I said, Carrie has tons of the template that is out there. You've all been added to that virtual event that is out there, so you have access to that template. So all of that is already done and ready for you. But a couple things that I would recommend just adding to it, just to make it a little bit more fun, is go live. So almost everyone, when they do a virtual event, has some sort of like a post with this beautiful picture of them and their family and a couple little paragraphs about their life. And I think that's fantastic. I really do. Especially if you are shy in front of the camera and you want to make sure that you are communicating very specific things and you don't want to screw them up. 100% go for it. I think the post is the way to go. But whether you replace that with a live or just add to it, I also think popping on live is fantastic for a couple reasons. Number one, going live is the best interaction with your network. If they have watched you live for even 1 second, you are going to start showing up in their news feeds even more, which just means that they're going to be more likely to see your Rodan and Fields posts, right? Or whatever it is. But it's also great personal development for you personally. It puts you in front of the camera. It makes you raw. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you vulnerable. And it makes you a better leader. But also, it automatically sends a notification to every single person in that event. So even if they've missed other events throughout, as soon as you go live, they're all going to get that notification on their phone or computer that says, Brandi Carter is live right now, which will encourage most people to click on it just to see, what is she doing? Like, why is she live? And I would just recommend hopping on and just thanking them. Especially if you've done that post that gives your entire story and why, you're part of the company and why you're doing what you're doing. Just hopping on and saying, hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting my business. Just kick back, grab a beverage, relax, and thank you for taking your time this evening to hear about what I'm doing. And then maybe at the end or the next day, do the same thing, but with a thank you. Thank you so much for being part of my event. If you haven't had a chance yet to go through the posts, they're still available. Feel free to go through them and maybe even remind them about some different incentives that you have. Just again, to encourage, everything that is going on in the event. Other things during the event, utilize others. This is something that I think is so underutilized. So I have a fantastic power partner named Addie Mason. Shout out Addie. We're not on the same team. We don't financially benefit from one another at all. But she is just one of those girls that I never would have met without Rodan and Fields, and she's become my new BFF. Like, love her. Well, her and I have done a couple events together and they've been fantastic, like ridiculous. And I think it's just because her and I do so well together. We do a great job of inviting, we do a great job of following up, but we also do a great job of just having fun. So popping on the event and talking about, the camaraderie of the women in the business or people in the business, the different things going on, the different values of the organization, but also making it personal. Her and I did a great job of my son, Sean. I had him hold a little cup of night serums, and then people would count those in terms of like a raffle kind of deal. She put an adorable picture of her daughter, Juliana, and then different things like that, just to make it personal, just to show people like we're real live human beings with lives. We're not robots that are just doing these events, boom, 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 boom. This is what, we are. This is what's paying the bills. We're not out there getting our 5th private jet of corporate America. We're paying daycare and diapers, I also recommend doing some interactive posts. I've seen lots of stuff about like the night serums where you count the capsules, and I think that's great, especially if you make it personal, like I just said. But I also think it's fun to have some crazy stuff. Like one of the ones that we just did was your band name is the color of your pants and the last thing you ate. So my band name was Black Pop Tart, and people really got into it and started posting, and, it just allowed us to really start interacting with them on more of a fun level versus everyone thinks that they're only on this because you're trying to sell them something. Because let's be honest, like in a sense we are, we definitely are inviting people to this event so that they can learn more about our products and hopefully become either consultants or customers, right? So if we can make it fun along the way and show them our own personal personality and make it a good time, why not do both? Okay, and then the last thing during the event is definitely include your solution tool. Whether you put that in a random post or you send it to all of your people that have said yes and have them take your solution tool quiz before the event. I think that is probably honestly the most powerful way to do it, just because you have them take that solution tool, they get those results right then and there, and then the entire time they're on the event, they know in their mind that they were recommended Soothe. They were recommended Unblemish. So then as those posts come up, they're going to speak directly to them in a very personal way because they're going to know that that's the product that was recommended by the doctors for them. So if you can get people to do that in advance, and you may want to throw a little bribery at them, right? Like anyone that does the solution tool is entered to win a free mini facial, or is, whatever the case may be. But definitely getting that. Okay, so let me just take a look. We got that, we got that, we got that. Okay. And then lastly, I just want to talk about closing the event. So the biggest thing with the event is that this is education. You're not going to hard sell someone on an event. What you're doing is you are just educating your network about what your products are, what your business offers, what the opportunity is, what your personal story is. And then the fortune is truly in the follow-up. Like I know we hear that a million times, but it really is. I've had so many people that they watched 2, 3, 4, 5 virtual events before they ever became a consultant or a customer. But that's okay. Like it's absolutely positively okay. Some people it just takes a little bit longer and they want to get all the knowledge that they can. And I think it's fantastic that we have this available to us and don't have to only talk to the person that's in our neighborhood, right? And just remember that you always want to end the event with some form of urgency. So that could be something like anyone that purchases, by Friday, or the next 3 people that join as a preferred customer, or the next 2 people that join as a consultant, or whatever, your kind of urgent incentive is. And it could be something that they get a free product. It could be something that you throw cash at them. It could be whatever you personally want to do in your business. But having that sense of urgency is definitely going to get people moving. Because if, let's say you have someone who did the solution tool, they saw that they need Soothe, they watched the entire event, Soothe sounds great, they want to get Soothe, and then they see that the first 3 people that do it also get a free eye cream, why wouldn't they do it? they're definitely going to do it. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you a little idea about setting up your own virtual events and utilizing your networks worldwide. And if I can be of any help, definitely let me know. Have a great day and happy Thanksgiving.